Okay, so let's just jump right in. If you've been messing around with Suno AI, you already know it's incredible. But you've probably also hit that wall where your songs are good, yeah, but they still have that certain AI sound. In this explainer, we are going way beyond the basics. We're going to get into the advanced stuff you need to get professional sounding, controllable, and really polished results.
And this right here, this is the feeling, isn't it? It's that exact frustration of knowing the potential is massive, but you feel like you're fighting a machine that just has its own ideas. Trust me, you are not alone in this. It's a super common hurdle for anyone trying to push Suno to its absolute limits.
So let's put a name to the problem. You're past the wow, this is cool phase, and now you're trying to make finished, usable tracks. But you keep bumping up against that distinct and kinda unwanted AI sound. It feels like the final barrier between a cool demo and a song you'd actually be proud to release.
What you're hearing actually has a name. Let's call it Suno ambience. You know what I'm talking about. It's that weird digital sheen over everything, that subtle but always there background noise, or those little artifacts that just don't sound real. It can make vocals feel washed out and the whole mix just a little bit muddy. Learning how to control this is the key to leveling up.
You can see the incredible creative doors that are opening up, but you feel stuck. Your tracks are just missing that final 10% of clarity, of professional polish. But here's the good news. There are ways to smash right through that wall. And it all starts with unlocking a sort of hidden feature right inside Suno itself. All right, this is the first huge breakthrough. Seriously, think of it like a secret menu or a cheat code for Suno that some really clever users on Reddit figured out and shared. It's basically a way to tell the AI, hey, put some more muscle into this one. And this is it. This is the secret code. You just copy and paste this exact string of text and drop it right at the top of your style prompt box. What these tags are doing is essentially forcing Suno into a higher fidelity mode. People who use this report an immediate, really noticeable jump in quality, in realism, and just the raw authenticity of the instruments. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, the speculation behind it. The Redditor who first shared this, Cro-Magnus, thinks that we're actually tapping into a more powerful, maybe even an industry-grade version of the model that isn't the default. Whether that's true or not, the results really do speak for themselves. And look, this isn't just some one-off theory. The community has put this to the test, big time. The feedback is just overwhelmingly positive. People are trying it, and they are hearing a massive difference in their tracks, taking them from kind of muddy demos to something way, way closer to release quality. So, unlocking Max Mode gives you this amazing, high-quality canvas. But now you have to learn how to paint on it, right? The next level of control comes from ditching those simple, casual prompts and learning to speak Suno's native language, which, it turns out, is less like poetry and a lot more like technical metadata.
And this just illustrates the difference perfectly. On the left, you've got your typical casual prompt. It gives Suno a ton of room to guess what you mean. But on the right, that's a power prompt. Look how it's structured with specific categories, genre, style tags, recording setup. It's using professional audio terms to describe not just a feeling, but the technical reality of the sounds you actually want.
So the big takeaway here is to start thinking like a recording engineer. Instead of just saying warm, try something like tape saturation. Instead of intimate, try small room acoustics, or get even more specific with mouth noise or fret squeak. These are the tiny, imperfect little details that trick our brains into hearing something as real and authentic.
Okay, here's a super practical pro tip. Have you ever had Suno start singing your style prompt? Yeah, that's called bleed through. It happens when the AI gets confused and thinks your beautiful, descriptive sentences are actually lyrics. The fix is simple. Keep your prompt structured as short, comma-separated tags, just like metadata. It creates a clear line between the instructions and the lyrics.
All right, so you've used Max Mode, you've crafted this brilliant power prompt, and you've generated a high-quality track. You're not done yet. The final step to getting a truly professional sound happens outside of Suno in the world of audio post-production. This is where you really take back full control. Now, Suno can give you an instrumental and a vocal stem, which is a great start. But it's basically splitting a finished track after the fact. For a much cleaner, much more accurate separation, you really need to use dedicated third-party tools that are built specifically for this one really complex job. So where do you start? Well, here are some of the community's top recommendations. NVSEP is this fantastic free web tool that has different models you can try, including one called Demux 4 for multi-track separation. Kits AI is a paid option, but it has some really powerful reverb and noise removal features. And hey, don't sleep on Adobe's free Enhanced Speech tool. It's made for podcasts, but it can do wonders for cleaning up a vocal stem.
So once you have your separated tracks, you can directly attack that Suno ambience. For anyone using Adobe Audition, there's even a community-developed trick. If you go into the adaptive noise reduction effect, there's a preset called Unsuno that's been specifically designed to find and remove that characteristic digital sheen. It gives you a much cleaner final track.
Okay, let's just recap. We've gone from basic prompts to secret codes to advanced prompt wizardry and even into post-production. So what's next? Well, the entire way we interact with these tools is about to change, moving away from just giving commands to something that feels more like a true creative collaboration.
A perfect example of this is a project out of MIT called SongGen. Now picture this. Instead of just throwing a prompt into a box and hoping you get what you want, SongGen imagines a chat interface. You'd have a back-and-forth conversation with an AI assistant to brainstorm ideas, write lyrics, and pick out instruments, just like you would with a human writing partner.
And that's really the big idea here. We're moving away from treating AI like some kind of magic black box that just spits out a song. Instead, we're heading towards a future where the creative process itself is a dynamic, steerable conversation between the artist and the AI.
And that leaves us with this final thought. As these tools get more and more sophisticated, our relationship with them is changing too. So are we just learning to give better commands to a really complex tool? Or are we learning to communicate with a completely new kind of creative partner? The answer to that question is probably going to define the next era of making music.